Okay, so we're out here on the Wildland Urban Interface in East Flagstaff. If you look that direction, you'll see homes. But we're in Natural Fuels, setting up to do the fuel moisture assignment, where we'll be slinging weather to get relative humidity, and then from there we can get our 1 hour dead fuel moistures. So here's the sling psychrometer. I'm going to go ahead and wet the wet bulb. I've already wet it once, so it doesn't take much for me to wet it. Really, we want our back to the wind and in the shade. It's kind of a hard combo here, so kind of over here like this, and we start slinging. So this is a 360-degree video, so you should be able to use your mouse and look up at the sky, look all around, look down at the fuels, and be able to assess this site for the different aspects that you need to collect for your fuel moisture assignment. Okay, so we are currently at dry bulb about 62 and wet bulb 44. And remember, we have to keep spinning, and even once we think the wet bulb has bottomed out, we spin once more, because if that wet bulb doesn't bottom out, then we get an inappropriate reading for our relative humidity. And that can be a bad thing if you're actually out in the field trying to figure out your fire behavior potential. Okay, we're at about 61 for the dry bulb, and wet bulb is down to 42. Sometimes I switch arms because I get less coordinated. Okay, we all done. It didn't work. 39, let's see. Dry bulb of, we're down to 60, and wet bulb, we're down to 40. Okay, dry bulb, we're still at 60, and wet bulb, we're down to 39. Dry bulb of 60 and wet bulb of 39. So we're holding steady. We'll spin one more time just to make sure. All right, dry bulb of 60 and wet bulb of 39. So the other data that we need to collect is the wind, the slope, and the aspect. The overall slope of this site is headed down this way. So we stand and we face where the slope is headed. I would call this, it's a little more moderate, it gets a little more steep, but I would call this a moderate slope. Our aspect is about 150 degrees, so between south and southwest. And the wind is coming from this direction. So if I put my face into the wind's coming from pretty much the northeast. And then we'll do a wind reading with our wind meter here. I can hear it up in the trees, but down in the canopy here, it's a lot less. And so we're not really getting any even gusts much over 2, so I'd say 1 mile per hour down here. Let's double check that we don't need any other data. We've got our aspect, our wind direction. You can check for cloud cover. You can talk about the exposure. You can choose your fuel types and your fuel condition. And we've got our dry bulb and wet bulb, and you will look up dew point and RH from those values and then calculate your 1 hour fuel moisture from that. So we're good to go.